Hi, I'm Tyler Pagliarini, and this is my video log for the C1000 course on my new student dialogue. My new student dialogue was the sexual politics of hooking up. It was conducted a few months ago, and I actually had a very good experience. We went in there, and our group leaders introduced themselves. Then we all went around and had an icebreaker so we could introduce ourselves to the group. So we all sort of kind of knew each other on a basic level. But then following that, we went over what a true dialogue is. It was that everyone is able to speak freely, contribute to the group. There aren't arguments, but people can't have contrasting ideals. So we did that for a while, and I thought that was pretty helpful because it kind of set the tone for the conversation. I do believe that we ended up achieving a true dialogue. We had a lot of people who contributed. We had a lot of people who shared their opinions, including myself. I spoke up a few times. It ended up being that most of the guys felt that guys do have it a little bit easier when it comes to the topic of hooking up because they aren't targeted as much. Like a girl can be a whore or a slut, excuse the language, but that guys, if they end up hooking up with someone, they won't get labeled that negatively. There were a few more active people in the group. I remember probably about 4 or 5, and then maybe myself, who had more specific roles in the conversation, along with my two leaders who helped contribute and swing things along. My leaders actually were very good. They helped shift the conversation, but they also helped clarify things that people might have misunderstood. Um, there were also reserved people. There were a few people who didn't speak at all. I think there were only maybe one or two, but I don't know. They just sat there, they introduced themselves, and then they didn't contribute much to the conversation unless they were directly asked. I was one of the larger voices in my group. I gave opinions. I was kind of sympathetic to the female side, but also I was getting a bit annoyed with the girls feeling very targeted because in the end, it's not that big of an issue. So, um, I think that the dialogue is kind of an important portion of CU 1000 because it not only introduces you to new people, but it introduces you to new people through somewhat of a difficult topic at times. I think all the dialogues out of the ones that I saw were very difficult topics, and that it ended up just being a conversation that not only broke the ice between people, but it was able to have a group of people discuss and be open with each other on a certain topic for a period of time. It was very useful. It helped open my eyes to what people think about the certain topic. It helped clarify what I thought about the certain topic and how I felt. I think it was interesting to have such a diverse group of people all in the same room talking about it. Um, I think that my dialogue was pretty interesting. I was happy with the topic that I chose. It ended up being as to where, in the end, we weren't unhappy with the result. We wanted to stay more. We wanted to continue to talk. Guaranteed we all left. We were given the option to stay longer, but we all had things to do. But at the very end, we were surprised. I think everyone walked in there thinking that 2 hours is going to be kind of a crazy amount of time to be in a room sitting and talking about hooking up. But we actually had a lot of things to say. People shared their opinions. People were very vocal. And I was also surprised at the gender amount. There were just as many guys as there were girls. I don't remember one gender being particularly dominant. Every side had their arguments. There were guys that spoke up on the topic. There were girls that spoke up on the topic. And I think that having two supervisors of different genders also helped even it out. So in case there was some sort of gender dispute, it would have been easily fixed due to the fact that the supervisors were able to calm down the people in there. No one ever got angry. No one ever got upset. We all spoke. We all had different opportunities to share our opinions. If someone new wanted to speak that hadn't spoken before, the people who helped it go made it very possible for them to speak. I think that overall it was a very good dialogue. I remember a few girls who really spoke up a lot. They were very vocal, but then I think it was just important that as college students, one of the first things that we were able to do in college, well, I did mine early, but I think that having one of those, having that dialogue or discussion as one of my first few parts of college. It really helped set the tone for the way that other people think and learn and feel and interact with each other. Um, there was another part of the dialogue where we looked at traits of ourselves and looked at things that we thought about ourselves and and characteristics that stuck out the most. I don't remember that being very useful in the overall dialogue, especially with a topic like hooking up, because that's different. I think it was interesting, and it was definitely interesting to look at yourself and see what you thought about yourself. But overall, I didn't think that it was very useful in the end. So those are my thoughts on the dialogue. I think it's a very useful tool. I enjoyed it. I don't remember hearing anyone who said that they didn't think it was useful or that they didn't enjoy it. Everyone was able to pick a topic that they thought was the most interesting, and then when they got there, they had people who really helped them flesh it out and let them share their opinions. Because really, I think it's a great opportunity for people to share their opinions, because that's really what they end up wanting to do anyway. Everyone wants to share their opinions and be heard, and a dialogue is a great setting to have people do that. And I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was going to be really boring and really terrible, kind of a waste of time, but I'm glad that I did it. So that's all it is. I'm Tyler Pagliarini once again, and thank you very much.